Breaking news, we're learning more about the man suspected of causing an explosion outside a federal building in New York City. James Bernacle, the FBI's new New York assistant director, says the suspect has been identified as 43-year-old Andrew Arabaca. Bernacle says Arabaca launched fireworks outside the building, poured gasoline on the stairs, and then set it on fire. The federal building is home to multiple agencies, including ICE, and Bernacle says a cart belonging to Arabaca contained anti-ICE literature. Bernacle also says Arabaca was heavily armed. Take a listen.
Mr. Arabaca came armed with bad intentions. I will say that 26 Federal Plaza has long been a target of extremists, of terrorists, and today the extremism was brought here. The building was attacked. Mr. Arabaca was looking to injure people and harm people. He had 2 axes, a hammer, a machete, and 3 knives, fixed blade knives. He had, as I said earlier, 6 incendiary devices or fireworks, and he had some other destructive items.
I want to bring in CBS News senior crime and public safety producer Anna Schecter. Anna, what do you make of all that equipment that suspect was carrying today?
Well, to me, this points to the fact that this suspect could have had multiple ways of inflicting damage on this federal building that, I should say, houses ICE agents, and people come and have their immigration meetings there. Of course, also houses multiple different agencies, including the FBI's New York field office. So the knives, the guns, all of this points to multiple ways to attack, and that will help prosecutors as they're building as strong a case as they can.
And Anna, we know the FBI New York Joint Terrorism Task Force is investigating, and we also learned that Arabaca's vehicle has been seized in this case. I want to give you a moment. I know what it's like to cough. But what can we expect this early in this investigation? And do we know if the suspect has obtained legal representation at this point?
Well, this is a great question because the vehicle was left up in Harlem, in Upper Manhattan, where the suspect lives. He apparently, what we learned at that press conference, took the train down to Lower Manhattan. So this opens lots of questions. How was he able to transport all these weapons and explosive devices without being detected? Now, it appears to me he sort of concealed it in one of those carts, but that's a big question. Did anybody see something and not say something? Did somebody see something and say something and it wasn't followed up on? All those questions will need to be examined. In terms of him having representation, he clearly was read his Miranda rights according to the authority, what they said, and he continued talking and he made statements that were incriminating, saying he didn't even mind inflicting harm on civilians during the course of this attack. But I haven't seen that he has a lawyer yet. He has not been formally charged, I should say, so we don't know how he's going to plead.
Yeah, I'm curious, what charges could we expect in this particular case? We know several people were injured.
Well, this is a very complicated case because you had all these different weapons. You had a huge raging fire. You had an explosion outside of a federal building. But when it comes to victims, it's pretty minor. We had one civilian and a couple of agents who were sent to local area hospitals for minor injuries. So how does a prosecutor take that into account? How does a prosecutor navigate a scenario like that? That is the question, and we'll see how this goes. I think intent is what prosecutors are going to lean on because they thankfully don't have a large victim count. And intent, and they're going to be looking through his electronic devices. They're going to be leaning into these incriminating statements that I just referenced, where this individual said he would harm people to further his cause. And all of that could lead to terrorism-related charges, which are big charges here in New York, of course.
Absolutely. Anna Schecter, great to see you. Thank you so much.